Right, we start here for you. Operation Dudula members are vowing to return to the Johannesburg Central police station today to demand the release of their leader, Nhlanhla Dlamini. He was arrested on Thursday after a Soweto resident laid charges against him. This led to Operation Dudula members clashing with police after their leader was confirmed to be spending the weekend behind bars. The group has been holding a series of demonstrations across Gauteng, which are said to be rooting out illegal immigrants from communities and economic cycle. Now, our reporter Lindokuhle Xulu is monitoring the story for us outside the police station, and he joins us now live. Lindo, I see the police are more prepared today with that police Nyala, but have you seen any of the members of Operation Dudula there this morning?
Well, Maseko, we are seeing some of the members of Operation Dudula gathering just on my left-hand side here. They are not as many as we've seen yesterday, but some of those supporters that were here that clashed with police yesterday essentially told us that they would be returning here. But the call from some of their leaders was to say that they must desist from coming here, they must not come here, and they must allow the leadership to actually be the ones that are engaging police in terms of trying to get Nhlanhla Dlamini out on a station bail. But one of the things that happened yesterday was that earlier on there was an expectation that Nhlanhla Dlamini would be taken to the Roodepoort Magistrates Court for his first appearance, where he would then try to get bail. But unfortunately that did not happen because he was only charged at around 2 p.m. At noon yesterday. So what we saw then was some of the supporters moving from Roodepoort Magistrates Court coming here and demonstrating on this very street near the Central Police Station in Johannesburg. And then what had happened after was that there were engagements, lengthy engagements with police as well as a prosecutor, we understand, to try and get that bail from the police station. That did not happen because the prosecutor said that they could not sign off without any form of authorization, and that was when we saw some of those clashes with Operation Dudula members clashing with police. Police were able to use stun grenades at the least and actually disperse some of those crowds, of course with the help of the leaders of Operation Dudula and other organizations that came to help them. So at the end of the day, they did tell them to disperse, and that today would be another day where they'll be able to try and convince police that because of the type of charges that are formulated against Nhlanhla Dlamini, they should in fact be allowed to actually have a station bail and then allow the process to take its course while Nhlanhla Dlamini is out.
And Lindo, what has been the response so far from police in terms of trying to make sure that the scenes that we saw late yesterday don't happen again today? Are we expecting that police officers will be on standby throughout the day to ensure that there's no violence?
Well, we are expecting exactly that. You see the police Nyala behind me is one of the things that is always stationed outside the Central Police Station here in Johannesburg. But this is one of the biggest police stations in Gauteng. And if you talk about the response, we saw it very quickly yesterday that when there was this commotion that was now gathering here inside and some supporters trying to in fact go inside to where Nhlanhla is held, the police responded quite swiftly in terms of having shields and also just dispersing some of those crowds with stun grenades. But we are expecting that police are very much prepared and they know exactly the type of case they are dealing with in terms of the magnitude of the supporters. But the plea again, Maseko, which will be the defining moment, is that Nhlanhla himself as well as some of the leaders from Operation Dudula told supporters not to come here, not to gather here, and not to cause any further delays with some of the negotiations that they would want to have inside. But whether those supporters who in fact didn't seem like they wanted to listen to reason when leaders were telling them to stop causing the commotion that was outside here, they did tell them that what they want to see is Nhlanhla Dlamini out on bail. But unfortunately, when that didn't happen, they didn't seem like leaders were able to manage that situation. So again, the defining moment will be whether some of the Operation Dudula members that we saw yesterday are going to listen to that particular call to say that they must not gather here and they must just allow their leaders to in fact negotiate and actually try to make legal strides in terms of allowing Nhlanhla to actually come out on a station bail. But I can tell you that that will be the defining moment when it comes to whether they'll be gathered here, whether we'll see similar scenes from yesterday, or whether we'll see a peaceful day in front of this particular police station as well as seeing some of the action taking place inside instead of what we saw outside here yesterday.